What's shaking bacon? With the 2024 NFL season well underway, we are in need of some game day snacks. We recently made bacon on this channel, so today we will be making 3 bacony snacks that you can enjoy while watching your team hopefully win, unless you're a Cowboys or a Giants fan. All right.
Here we go!
The snacks we're making today include Jalapeno Popper Dip, BLT Bites with bacon jam, and sweet and spicy Candied bacon bites. Like I said, we will be using our home cured bacon for these recipes, but you can totally use store-bought instead. I would recommend that you get thick cut bacon though. And if you need any brand recommendations, we really like Wright brand bacon and Hormel Black Label bacon. And a quick disclaimer, I tend to partake in the a little bit of this and a little bit of that style of cooking. So for the recipes I'm sharing today, you will not need to be exact with your measurements. They're super forgiving and adjustable. And if you're looking for those recipes, you will find them down in the description box below. And while you're down there, maybe drop a like on the video and subscribe. It'd be highly appreciated. First, let's make the bacon jam that we'll be using for the BLT bites because we will have to wait for it to cool. We're gonna be using both the basic and whiskey cured bacon in this recipe. If you watched the how to make bacon video, then you saw that when we went to go slice our bacon, we first cut off the ends and set them to the side. And this is because the ends had more surface area that had direct contact with the cure, so they are saltier than the rest of the bacon. And one of the recipes that I read while researching for that video recommended to keep the ends of the bacon in your freezer and use them as salty components in things like soups and such. So I thought that this bacon jam would be the perfect opportunity to use up our ends. So first things first, we will need to chop up our bacon. This is just over a half a pound of bacon. We're looking at about 8.5 ounces. And now we need to chop up an onion or 2. With that amount of bacon, I'm thinking we'll go with this medium onion and this small onion, diced up about the same size as the bacon. I like a lot of onion. If you like less onion, use less onion. I'm not overly concerned about cross-contamination with this onion and the board that I just got bacon on because we're gonna cook these together. But if you wanna use a different board, use a different board. You don't have to be super precise about your cuts. If you want a finer consistency to your jam, you can pulse it in a food processor after cooking. So between those 2 onions, we're looking at just about like 2 cups of onion. Now we can go ahead and measure out most of the rest of the ingredients for the jam. We're gonna start with about 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, and then 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar, 1/4 cup of maple syrup, a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Oh, that smells so good. There are a few more ingredients that we will add once we start cooking, which we can go do now. We're gonna let this pan heat up on medium-high heat, and while we wait for that to happen, I am going to add about 1/4 cup of water to our mixture that we put together. Once our pan is done heating up, we are going to add in our bacon and cook it until it's crispy, stirring it pretty often to make sure nothing burns. This is how we're looking after right around like 12, 13 minutes. It's looking good, so we are going to remove the bacon from the pan, and we're also going to remove a good bit of this fat. I'll keep right around 2 tablespoons in there, and so now we can add the onion and let that cook for 2 to 5 minutes, just until it starts to get soft. Then we'll add in about 2 cloves worth of minced garlic, let that cook for another 30 seconds to a minute. And now's the time we add back in the bacon, the sauce that we made, and a few sprigs of fresh thyme. It might be smart to tie them together so that you don't lose track of the stems, because we'll be pulling the stems out later, but I full sent it, as you can see. We're just gonna let it simmer and thicken, stir it often, and once we pull it off the heat, it will continue to thicken as it cools. Since we are using these saltier pieces of bacon, I am going to skip adding any salt right now. I will taste test it at the end and then add salt if it needs it, but this will be one of the only times you will see me wait to add salt to anything until the end. Oh, it's getting thick. Cool. It's been right around 10 minutes and we're looking nice and thick. So I'm going to remove this from the heat really quick and very, very carefully taste test it, because it is like molten lava right now. Oh my God. I am actually going to add a pinch of salt here. That's so good. I'm going to spread it out on this sheet tray so that it cools down faster. Once it's cooled down, we can make our BLT bites. You could also eat this a bunch of different ways, on sandwiches, on crackers, on a spoon, just a few suggestions. And like I said earlier, if you want this to be a finer texture, you could pulse it in a food processor a few times. Once it's cooled down, you can store it in an airtight container in your fridge for 3 to 4 weeks. Of course, we need more bacon, so I will be slicing a few pieces off of our basic cured bacon. I'm going to try to slice them a little bit thinner than usual because we will be crumbling the bacon after we cook it to add it to the dip. We're gonna go with 5 pieces. Next, we need some jalapenos. I'm using 4. These are really large jalapenos, but like medium-ish size jalapenos should be good. I'm going to seed and dice them. You can of course leave the seeds in there if you would like. I'm going for like a medium dice, somewhere between small and medium. Then we need to grate a little bit of cheddar cheese. I'm using sharp cheddar. We're gonna need 1/2 to 1 full cup of this. It really just depends on how cheesy you want your dip to be. And then we will also need a little bit of Parmesan cheese as well, about 1/4 cup of that for the topping. To a mixing bowl, I'm going to add 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, anywhere between 1/2 cup to a full cup of sour cream or Greek yogurt. I'm gonna be using Greek yogurt today. It's a pretty heavy dip, so if you'd like to lighten it up more, add more of the sour cream or Greek yogurt, whichever one you're using. We're gonna go with like a heaping 1/2 cup of the Greek yogurt. And then 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. Then we're going to use a hand mixer to mix everything up until it is combined and fluffy. Now that everything is combined and nice and fluffy, we're gonna fold in the jalapenos, the cheddar cheese, and the crumbled bacon. I did set aside 2 tablespoons of the crumbled bacon for the topping, which we will get to momentarily. Let's go ahead and put that topping together. We're gonna start with 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. Now, depending on the surface area of your dip, if you're using a wider casserole dish versus a narrower and deeper one, you may need more or less topping. So you can just adjust the amounts as you see fit, as you need to cover the surface area of your dip. And to the breadcrumbs, we're gonna add that 2 tablespoons of the crumbled bacon that I put aside. Our grated Parmesan cheese, about a heaping 1/4 of a cup. Give that a little bit of a mix to get everything distributed. And lastly, about 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Cool. And now we can, as evenly as possible, distribute this topping across the top of our dip. This is a great make-ahead option. You can go ahead and put it together the night before a party or before game day. And once you're ready to serve, just preheat the oven to 350 degrees, pop it in there until it is warmed through and bubbly. It'll probably take anywhere between like 15 and 20 minutes. Finally, let's start on the sweet and spicy candied bacon bites. We are first going to slice a few thick pieces off of our whiskey cured bacon. The amount really depends on how many of these little bites you want to make. And then taking those pieces and cutting them down into little bite-sized squares. I'm gonna go ahead and cook these in the oven the same way that I like to cook bacon in general. So starting in a cold oven, set to 375 or 400, and then just letting them bake until they reach my desired level of doneness. I don't want to cook these until they're super crispy because I want to be able to put toothpicks in them later without them crumbling, but feel free to cook them until your desired level of crispiness. We're essentially going to be making a caramel sauce to coat our bacon in, and the amount of sauce that we're making now is going to be too much for the amount of bacon that I have, but I'd rather have too much sauce than not enough sauce. So directly into our saucepan, we are going to add 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar, 1/4 cup of maple syrup, 1/8 of a teaspoon each of cayenne powder and chipotle powder, and then optionally a splash of whiskey or bourbon. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of the same whiskey that we used when we cured this bacon, and then a pinch of salt. And since the bacon is already salty, use your discretion if you want to add salt to the sauce or not. We're gonna heat this on medium-low heat until everything is melted together. I would caution against excessively stirring it though. Stirring it can lead to crystallization as the sauce cools, and that's just not a super nice consistency. But I do recommend swirling it and make sure that it's moving around in the pan so that nothing sticks to the bottom and burns. If you wanted to prep this ahead of time, I would recommend going ahead and just cooking your bacon in the oven, putting together all the ingredients for the sauce, and heating it up the day of you know, eating this. The bites do hold well in the fridge, they just won't be as pretty. After about 10 minutes, this is what we're looking like. We are going to add the bacon directly into here, toss it all together, and then skewer them with toothpicks and directly onto a platter to cool. And as it cools, the sauce will kind of harden into a shell. For the BLT bites, we have already washed and dried our tomatoes and lettuce. I halved the tomatoes as well as cut the lettuce leaves in half too. The amount of each ingredient really depends on how many of these bites you would like to make. To build them, we're starting with a piece of bread. It can be any bread of your choice. We went with a sourdough sandwich loaf. I really liked the size of these slices because the bigger the slice of bread, the more bites we can get out of one piece. So first we're gonna do a layer of mayonnaise. If you don't typically like mayonnaise on your BLTs, then I'd say just skip it here. Next is a layer of that bacon jam we made, a layer of lettuce, and for the tomatoes, we're gonna take a toothpick and a tomato half and skewer that. You can skewer it either way. I think the cut side up will look cute. This next part is going to be easier to show you than tell you, but essentially we are going to take all of our toothpicked tomatoes and place them into our bread in the middle of what we think a bite will be. And feel free to square up your bread, cut off the crusts if you would like. For aesthetics, go right ahead. Now that we have all of our toothpicked tomatoes placed, we can slice in between all of the tomatoes. And there we have our little BLT bites. And then you just rinse and repeat until you have as many bites as you want. It is finally time to taste test some snacks. Whose team just won in week 8 with a walk-off Hail Mary and is ready to taste some snacks? This girl. And Xavier's here. Come in. What would you like to taste test first? We have the BLT Bites, the Jalapeno Popper Dip, which I think you're gonna love.
Then that. That sounds fantastic.
We went through a period of time where Xavier was absolutely obsessed with jalapeno poppers, and we were making them at minimum once a week. I just toasted some bread to go with it.
I'm so excited.
Jalapeno Popper Dip.
Wow, that's good.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap, that's delicious.
This would be really good on toast, like we're doing. A baguette, obviously, would also be good. Crackers. Mix this in with some hot pasta. Oh dang, that would be really good.
That would be really good in some pasta.
You like it?
I could eat half that container.
You probably will.
That's good. That would be good with chips.
Tortilla chips.
I was thinking tortilla
potato chips.
Yeah.
Good on any of that.
That is crazy good.
We may or may not be eating literally this for dinner.
Dinner.
Because
Dinner.
Thursday night football starts in approximately 20 minutes. So winner?
Oh, absolutely. That's phenomenal. I feel like we have to go with
The BLT Bites next?
Yeah.
This is with the bacon jam.
No.
Dunk.
Oh. Oh.
I mean.
That's really good.
Mm.
That's really good.
You like
You
it?
made the bacon jam?
Yeah.
The bacon jam is so good. Holy crap.
I have to make more already.
Yeah, you do. I'm
More.
gonna have another one.
Oh yeah, go for it.
These are so good. The bacon jam is money.
If you like BLTs, you're gonna love these. And then
All right.
finally we have our sweet and spicy candied bacon bites.
Sweet and spicy.
Sweet and spicy. There's cayenne pepper in there.
Gotcha.
They're inspired by your family Christmas candied bacon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And there's maple syrup in there too, so I think you'll really like them.
They look great. They are thick.
Yeah.
That's thick. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Done.
Mmm. I was not expecting it to be so well coated. That's why I made that noise when I bit down.
I made a sauce and then I tossed them in it so that they would be fully coated.
Those are good.
They're good. I feel like it's like perfectly balanced with the sweet, the spicy, and the salty. The
Do you use whiskey in them or no?
Yes.
I could tell.
Like a
Like a
literal
little bit?
splash.
That's really good. It is really balanced.
I used a lot of the same ingredients in the sauce for these that I used when I actually cured this bacon, because this one's the whiskey cured bacon. I didn't want it to be too spicy, but I feel like it's just enough. It's like a wisp of spicy.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, at the very back end, like in the back of my throat, just a little bit of spicy. But when you said balance, like I could taste like the little bit of smokiness, some of the whiskey, like the savoriness of the bacon, the sweetness of the obviously sugar wrapped around it.
Yeah.
It's super good.
Yeah?
It's super good.
Oh, good.
Oh, this is gonna be a great dinner.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Well then, now I just need to take thumbnail, so no more for you. Thank you for taste testing with me.
absolutely.
You're giving me the thumbs up on all the snacks. So they're all Xavier approved.
Thank you for the snacks. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed and plan on trying some of these snacks for yourself. Before you go, please leave us a comment below with which of these snacks you are most excited to try and the name of either your favorite NFL team or your fantasy football team. Now, I don't play fantasy, but I can appreciate a clever name. Don't forget to check the description down below for the recipes to everything we made today, and please like this video and subscribe for more bartending and butchery content. And until next time. I crack myself up. Lighten, 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 lighten. Good, 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 good. Here we go. I can't do it. Oh my gosh. Here we go. I can't do the. I was just doing the voice. We. I like it. I like it a lot. Worcestershire sauce. Did I already say that? No. Oh sh. You ever try to remove the ribs of a jalapeno with a spoon and freaking jalapeno juice splashes up at your face? Not a good time. Not a good time. No, that's Patrick Mahomes. Must I always make such a mess? Na 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 na. Butter all over my spoon.
This looks great. Bite the toothpick with it.
No, don't do that. Here we go. I can't do it. BLT Bites. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, Jesus. Man, if no one laughs at that, at least I do.